I can flex forever. On the cash, on the rob, on the drip forever. Yeah, big drip, big splash, big dream, little man. Big plan, big crib, on a big life extreme. On a supercar extreme, on a GTR 35. On a super low boy, on a Bugatti Chiron, let's get it. Flammable like gasoline, I'm a big man, killing machine. Niggas cap like wrestling, forever walking on relaxing. Drip, look, don't touch me, don't give a fuck if you don't like me. Cold like my nigga Icy, real rap, no all of these hoes temporarily, but my bros forever. All of these bars infinity, nigga I rap forever. On the diamonds, bling-a-ling, so I can flex forever. On the cash, on the pop, on the nigga, I rap forever. On the diamonds, bling-a-ling, so I can flex forever. On the cash, on the pop, on the drip forever. All of these hoes tech ready for my bro forever. All of these bars infinity, nigga, I rap forever.
Welcome YouTube, to our channel. So today we are going to be talking about Nas100. So I'll be breaking down Nas100 secrets completely for free. I'll be telling you when to buy and when to sell, right? So as you know, with me analyzing, I like basically refreshing my chart to know that I'm starting on a clean chart. So if I had any drawings, I remove them and start over from scratch, right? So what I'm literally saying is that I will zoom out to basically see what kind of direction we are in, right? As you can see, judging from this price, that Nas100 has been buying and then now currently we are selling, right? So as you know, go to a line chart. That's option number 2. Go to your line chart, and then from your line chart you mark out your daily support and your daily resistance. So as you know, what I mean by resistance is that the daily support is somewhere where the market will touch and then turn. Market will touch, turn, touch, and then turn. You know what I mean? So that's literally the support. And the resistance is something where the market is resisted to turn over there, or the market is resistant to turn over there, right? So every time when the market touches this, we're expecting a sell. Every time the market touches this area, we're expecting what? A sell. Every time the market touches this area, we're expecting a buy. Every time the market touches this area, we're expecting what? We're expecting a buy, right? So I don't want to literally make this video long, so I'm gonna just be breaking it down. Obviously there's some parts that I can't literally teach you all because those parts are confidential, right? So those parts will come out in my mentorship group that I will create anytime soon, because a lot of people have been messaging me, telling me about mentorship, how much my mentorship and stuff like that, right? So I thank you all so much for messaging me. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, share with your friends, your family. But yeah, as you know, right, so we already can see that the direction, right, we already can see or tell that the direction is what? The direction before was bullish, right? The direction is bullish, expecting of buys, right? As it's bullish, we're expecting buys. Now it's bearish, we're kinda expecting what? Sells, right? Because the direction is bearish. So if you're taking buys, they're short-term buys, right? If you're taking sells, overall the overall direction is a sell, right? So the overall execution should be sells, right? So we're expecting sells. We're expecting more sells than buys, actually, right? Okay, fine. So I've marked out my support, my daily support, and my daily resistance, right? So I've marked out my daily support and my daily resistance, right? So from there, right, now I can zoom in, but I don't want to zoom in too much, right? So what I mean by zoom in but not too much, right? What I mean by that is that zoom in to the point that you can see these two lines, right? Zoom in to the point that you can see these two lines. So basically, guys, I'm explaining my strategy. So guys, please take this video seriously. This works on every pair. This works on every pair. But there's no strategy that is 100%. I hope you guys know that. We do take losses. Sometimes we do take losses, but overall we're expecting what? We're expecting profits, right? So what I do is that I zoom in but to the point that I can see these two lines to see my daily support and my daily resistance, right? So from there I know that, okay, fine, I've marked out my daily support and my daily resistance, right? So what's next? Where is the market going? That's a few questions I ask myself. Where is the market going, right? So as I told you, the market is going bearish, right? Because the market hasn't touched our support zone or our support area, right? As the market hasn't touched our support area, we can kind of see that touched our support and went to resistance, and from resistance we're expecting to go back to support, right? So we're expecting what? We're expecting sells on Nas100, right? So the second tip is that I mark off my sensitive areas. What I mean by mark off my sensitive areas, is I mean that mark off the areas where they have 3 or more touches. Sorry. Mark off the areas that have 3 or more touches, right? As you can see, we had a touch over here, and then we had a touch over there. That's already 3 touches, right? I've kind of explained that in the first video, so if you didn't watch the first video, please go watch it so that you don't get pretty much lost, right? And then marking off my sensitive areas is that I can see where the area sensitivity over there. We had another area of sensitivity over there. So please bear in mind that I'm analyzing what's happening around the current market price, because I don't want to analyze something that happened over here, because the market is really past that. So I'm analyzing something that is happening currently, right? So what I mean about Nas100 secrets is that I'm basically exposing Nas100 secrets, right? Because I'm a retail trader. Some are fundamental traders, some are not fundamental traders, but I'm a sentimental trader. I would say I'm a sentimental trader. A sentimental trader is a person that studies fundamentals and technicals, right? So I don't usually use fundamentals, but I can say that I'm a sentimental trader, right? Okay, going back to our analysis, right? We can see that we have our sensitive areas over here, right? And then from there, we can pretty much mark off our support and resistance, right? So our support and resistance, you can see that we have a support over there, and we kinda having some sort of a resistance over there, right? So we can see that we have a high also over here, right? So I'll mark that area as my high, right? This area I'm gonna mark. Let me change it to be like yellow. Yeah, let me change it to be like yellow. So this is my high, right? So this is my high, and knowing the high is that there's a high bullish or a high bullish, right? So you can see that we had some sort of like highs, with a high low, a high low, a high low, a high low, and another high low. So I'm not gonna mark all high lows that I'm seeing, right? So it's basically a draft, right? So we can see with a high, or high, a high. So how to basically see our high or high low? So I'm explaining by high low. So a high low is, you should know that your high low is another high. So if the high is previous enough than the other high, right? That's your high. So then you should know that your high is above your previous high, right? So that's a high. Then you know that the market is going bullish, right? Because the market created a high above that high. It's something like this. This is what a high, right? So this is what I mean by this is a high low, this is a high. High low, high, high low, high low, high, high low, high, high low, high low, high. So basically that's how the market moves, right? And we can see that we have some sort of a lower high, right? So what I mean by lower high is when the market is going bearish, right? So when the market is going bullish, it has 2 ranges of a high and a high low. When the market is going bearish, you have 2 ranges of what? A lower high and a lower low. Simple like that, right? So as you can see is that we marked out our support area and resistance area, right? We've marked out our sensitive areas, right? So tip number 3 is that you should mark off your direction, right? Because we said the market is what the market is bearish, so we should mark off our bearish trend line, right? We should mark off our bearish trend line, which is something like this, right? So now, because I've marked off everything, I can now zoom in and switch back to candlesticks, right? To see if I've marked off everything proper, right? We can typically see that everything that I've marked off or everything that I've mentioned, it's actually working, right? Because you can see we have more than 2 touches on our trend lines, right? Okay, clean, right? You can see that the market from support to resistance, support, we're expecting to go to resistance, and from there we're expecting a huge drop on Nas100, right? So I trade Nas100 and USDT, right? So judging from the price is that we can see that the market is basically respecting our trend line. And what I've explained from here is that from resistance to support, from support to resistance, resistance to support, support to resistance, resistance to support, right? So that's what typically I have explained for you, right? So that's how literally the market moves. The market goes up, goes down. You know what I mean? We buy low, we sell high. Buy low, sell high. At least if you've mastered that concept of we buy low and we sell high, you basically die. Because when the market creates a high, you sell it. When the market creates a high, you sell it. When the market creates a low, you buy. Simple. It is simple as it seems. I told you guys to please fool yourself at least and tell yourself that trading is simple. Just fool yourself and tell yourself that trading is simple. Just fool yourself every time. Just write it down. Trading is simple. And say trading is simple. That's how to break all those psychology. For me, when you tell yourself that this thing is simple, you start seeing the chart being more simple, right? So as you can see about Nas100 is that Nas100 we're expecting what we're expecting. I'll say a correction of a buy, right? It's a correction of a buy, and then we're expecting an impulse move towards the downside. That's Nas100, right? So, but if Nas100 actually breaks out and doesn't respect our trend line, and then we test above it, then we often buying opportunities, right? So that's Nas100, right? So bear in mind, they're still marking off on the daily time frame, right? So you gotta switch off from your daily to your 4-hour, right? Because we clearly identified our turning points, our turning areas, right? We clearly identified our significant areas in the market, right? So okay, cool. We gotta go down to your 4-hour time frame, right? 4-hour time frame, 4 hours. Now we're currently in 4 hours, right? We already identified the prices coming from what, coming from support and back to resistance. From support, we're expecting to go back. What we're expecting to go back to resistance. So that's simple, right? We have already identified that, right? So it's up to you if you identify more turning points in the market. When you see a turning point in the 4-hour time frame, mark it off as an area like this. As you can see, I've seen a very sensitive area over here, which actually respected by the market, right? So you can see that we have a turning area over here, right? And other thing that I'm seeing on Nas100 is that Nas actually did this. Nas100 actually did this. What I mean by it, right? So we can see that Nas100 created a high, right? And then created a higher high. So now we currently retesting this high. We're expecting to go out. We're expecting to go bullish. On Nas, this is Nas100, right? So as you can see, as I told you, is that the market ranges in high highs and high lows, low highs and low lows. That's how the market ranges typically. As you can see, a high, low, low, a high, equal highs. This is equal highs. That means it's double top. So simple. You know what I mean? So as you can see, right, a high, higher, expecting to go bullish. That's Nas100. It's either Nas100 is going to turn here and create an equal high or create equal highs, and then from there we expecting what we expecting sells on Nas100, right? So if you're taking buys, it's basically you're eating the correction, right? If you're taking buys, you're eating the correction, because the overall direction is what the overall direction is a sell. So that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take the buys. I'm not saying you shouldn't take the buy, because if you can look clearly at this buy, let me take my long position. Let me take my long position right over here, right? Swing it up to the resistance, right? So as you can see, my stop loss, keep it a bit too tight like this, something like this, right? Something like this. Right, so as you can see, bro, as you can see, an easy risk reward ratio, right? An easy risk reward ratio. So you're risking 1% to gain 22, right? And bear in mind, this is Nas100. So Nas100 has a span of 100 companies, right? So Nas100 is basically volatile than US30, but US30 is more volatile because there's like at least companies of 30, right? Okay, fine. So I'm not saying you shouldn't take the sells or the buys. I'm not saying you shouldn't take the buy on Nas100 because the direction is bearish. I'm not saying that. You can take the buy, but know that if you're taking a buy, it is a correction. It's not the overall move, it's a correction. So the market impulse to the downside corrects into the upside, impulse to the downside corrects into the upside, expecting more of the impulse towards the downside. So guys, I'm just trying to make trading simple, you know what I mean? Because you all know me, I'm young, I'm like, I won't say my age, but like I'm young, I want to be the youngest trader in the world, right? So I'm trying to make trading as simple as it is, right? Because trading is simple. Not to mock off that we had some sort of a bearish trend. Yeah, I'm not gonna mock it off because it's basically done. It's a bearish trend and it's done. I mocked it off like countless times, right? So as you can see, I'm sure a lot of people saw this, that we have some sort of a bearish trend over here. But I'm not gonna mark it though. I'm not gonna mark it though, because we already have that trend line in our heads, right? We know that we had a bearish trend and then the market broke out, right? So the market didn't retest. That's the story. The market didn't retest our trend line. That's the story. Is that the market didn't retest our trend line, right? So as you know that the market basically, once it breaks out the trend line, you're expecting a retest, right? So the market broke with an impulse move, right? So this is acting some sort of a correction, right? But the market hasn't corrected on our trend line. So if the market fails to basically buy over here, when the market fails to typically buy over here, we're expecting a sell till this trend line. So as you know, never mind. I almost said something that was confidential. But I typically want to share with you, but I can't share with you. It's private, you know what I mean? So some things are not for free, but ish, guys, nah, I'm not gonna share it. No, man. Some things are not for free. Please be sure to like the video, comment whatever you want to comment. But like, guys, I almost shared something very, very, very powerful. But if you know me, you probably know what I wanted to share, right? But the market, when it's the market, when it's you know what I mean? But yeah, what I mean, right? So if the market fails to break, we're taking ourselves because the overall direction is a sell, right? So if the market fails to break, we're expecting a sell towards the downside, right? We're expecting a sell towards the downside and a stop loss above there, right? Yes, sir. Right. So if the market fails to break, or if the market fails to respect this area, we're expecting a sell. So that means this will be a high, this will be a lower high, and then this will be another lower high, which is a confirmation of a sell. This is a confirmation of a sell. So if the market creates a high and then creates a lower high, that means it's a change of character, right? So change of directionality, but yeah, something like this, right? So if the market fails to respect this area, we're expecting sells. So if the market fails to respect this area, we're expecting sells. But if the market respects this area, we're expecting buys up until where? That's the question. Up until where? We're expecting buys up until it reaches our trend line over here, right? So we're expecting buys up until it reaches our sensitive area over here. But if you know what I wanted to say over here, you'll probably know what to do over here, right? So guys, it's very powerful. I know how the market moves. I know what the market does, why it does that. That's literally what you should basically know, right? So guys, I have 2 years in the game, and yeah, you can typically see that I pretty much know what I'm doing, right? So you can see that the market creates at a high, and then the market creates at a low high. That means it's lower than the previous low. So that means we're expecting what? We're expecting sales on the downside, because the market failed to break this high. The market failed to break this high. As the market failed to break this high, that means we need to go get strength. In going to go get strength, that means we need to go the opposite direction of a buy. We need to go down to gain more momentum, and then from there, if the market doesn't turn over here, when the market turns over there, and then from there, we're expecting a buy to break the structure. Once the market breaks the structure, and then from there, it's typically as the market buys, then the market will buy until maybe like a certain area of over here or stuff like that, right? So the market created a high, right? And then the market created a low high. That means the market is failing to push up until there, right? So that means that the market is failing. As you can see, the market is typically playing around this area, right? So a lot of people will be like, oh, Nas100 is a buy. Why is Nas100 a buy? Because the market is playing inside this area over here. So as the market breaks towards the downside of this area, that means it's typical sell. As the market breaks our zone, that means it's a buy. Simple, right? But typically what I'm saying on NAS is that we're expecting a sell, because the market broke our resistance. It broke our trend line, right? The market broke our trend line with an impulse move, right? So that's one reason for a sell. One reason for a sell. The other confirmation of a sell is that the market creates a high and then the market creates a low high. It means change of pattern, right? So that means you need to go back down. So with the market failing to push up and then the market will typically sell, that means we're expecting sales towards the downside. That's the third confluence. The fourth confluence is a breakout. If the market breaks our trend line and then our zone and then retest, if the market retests, then that will be a retest is a confluence, right? So if the market retests, that's a confluence, right? And the other confluence is a sell. The other confluence of a sell is that the market is in a bearish trend. That's another confirmation of a sell. Right? So that's another confirmation of a sell, that the market being bearish, right? As I told you, if the market is bearish, you're expecting sells. If the market is bullish, you're expecting buys, right? As I told you, right? Okay, fine. As you can see, if the market breaks, we're expecting what? We're expecting a retest, and then from a retest, we're taking our entries, right? Sell towards the downside, right? Till upon this trend line, right? Till this trend line, because I understand market structure and I understand how the market moves. Because the market may turn over here. The market may turn over here, right? That's a retest of our trend line. If the market turns over here, that means it's a retest of our trend line. If the market turns over there, that means it's a retest of our trend line, right? So the market typically retests on the trend line, but retest on the support area, you know what I mean? So, gents, the market will sell. I'm telling you, Nas100 will sell. Because the market failed to break the structure, that means we need to go back down to gain more momentum. That's because the market failed to buy, that means you need to go back down to gain more momentum. And then from there, we're expecting a huge buy. We're expecting a buy from here up until there, because the market still has to cover this embarrassment. Because the market, look at this, the market sold and then the market buy. You need to still come back and cover this embarrassment, right? So once the market saw, I'm taking my edges. Once the market breaks this yellow or this red area, once the market breaks this red area, I'm taking a sell. I'm taking a sell. I'm taking a sell. I'm taking a sell. I can go lot size 500 if I want to. I can go lot size 100 if I want to. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, what else I wanted to share with you is that please trust your setup no matter what. Trust your setup. On yesterday, I was opting a sell, right? In yesterday, I was opting a sell, and then I took that sell, and then it was in profit, and then judging from the time, it was like on like 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And I was like, okay, let me close it, right? It went to negative again. It went to negatives, and I was like, you know what? Let me close it. It's charged really like 5 o'clock. I stopped trading. I stopped doing anything that has to be do with trading related. I stopped doing whatever. So that's my trading plan, and that's the rules I set for myself, right? So I was like, nah, because 5 o'clock is like near. Let me stop trading. I stopped, right? I closed a position on a loss, and bear in mind I'm trading a live card. It was like 2 rand, 3 rand loss, right? It was Nas100. It was nice. Nah, that was USDT. I'm gonna put the screenshot though for the screen recording. It was I don't know if it was Nas or USDT, but between the two. Oh, it was USDT. It was USDT. I entered 2 positions in the market. It went up a little bit, but I understand the overall direction, so I couldn't hold it because like 5 o'clock is near. So I was like, nah, never mind. It's a Monday also. I was like, nah, never mind. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna trade tomorrow. And with me coming back, I'm seeing a huge drop on USDT. I was like, fuck. I saw a huge drop on USDT coming back, and bear in mind I said sell. And then the market, yo guys, so please trust your setup no matter what. If the market goes against you, the market goes against you, it invalidates your setup. Go out, right? So once the market invalidates your setup, go out. Don't be thinking, maybe for instance, what I mean by if the market invalidates your setup, right? So if the market sells, right, okay, you're in profit, yeah, and then the market goes back, hit you out to a stop loss. Don't be taking sells over here. Don't be taking sells. Don't be taking sells. Don't be taking sells. Nah, the market locked you out. When the market takes you out, don't be revenge trading, right? So if the market takes me out on maybe like on Nas100, if the market takes me out on Nas100, I don't be going back and being no, it's a sell, and be selling everywhere. Imagine selling while the market is buying. When are you selling as the market is buying? Right? If the market takes you out, it takes you out. Don't be selling as the market is buying. Maybe you be like, oh, it's a sell over here, and then you sell. And then you go, mama, lot size 20 or something. And then the market buys. And what happened? Your sell is over here. As you can see, the market is creating highs. That means the market is pushing for more buying opportunities. And when you took your sell over here, lot size 20. Standard lot size. Yo, guys, please don't be revenge trading. Revenge trading, it's something that takes us away from our goals or our dreams, right? So I'm sharing this knowledge typically for free. I'm not getting paid from YouTube as yet. So guys, please help me. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Before I hit 5 years on YouTube, I wanna get to 5,000 subscribers, even 100,000, only God knows. But yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Let's go to 1 hour time frame. Oh guys, listen, yo. So in the 1 hour time frame, what I'm typically seeing is this. Because the market creates a lower high, so now we can use that lower high as a confluence, right? I can see something like this, dog. Something like this. I'm seeing something like this, right? So okay, I'm seeing a bearish trend, right? And I use this strategy all the time, right? So as I'm seeing a bearish in a 1 hour time frame is that I enter upon it, right? So if I'm seeing that the market is at support of our bearish, I'm taking a buy over here, right? I use it as a guideline in my entries or in specifying my entries, right? I'm saying, oh, we have support, buy, boom. Oh, we have resistance, sir, boom. You know what I mean? So that's how I typically take it, right? Because as I told you, the market ranges like that. The market from support to resistance, resistance, support, support to resistance. Guys, this thing is so simple. This thing is so simple. Trading is simple. People just make it look hard, but trading is simple. I'm telling you guys, trading is simple. Trading was difficult in the olden days, in the 90s, the 80s, whatever the fuck. But trading was hard back then. But now trading is simple. You can deposit 50 rand, even 50. You can deposit 50 rand, dog, in a fucking trading account. $10 you can deposit. So trading is simple. Trading is not like the olden days. Trading is simple now. Okay, down. Taking into 15 more time. 15 more time. Oh god. Oh god. Please issues, people. Listen, dog. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this on next. I'm seeing this one next. I'm seeing this one next. Where are your touches? Where are your touches? There are my touches. There are my touches. What you did? There are my touches. There are my touches. What else you need? What else you need? That's the question. What else you need? Because I told you in the first video that your trend line needs 2 or more touches to validate your trend line. How many touches we have? 1. A weekly creation is also a touch. 1, 2, 3. Right? So our downtrending support is validated as the market is buying over here. That's the reason why, because we have touches over here. That's why the market is buying. We have a touch over here, a touch over here. That's why the market is currently buying right now. It's confusing those. So if for instance, right, you don't know, you didn't see this trend line, you'll be like, oh, why the market is buying all of a sudden, right? If you didn't see this trend line, you'll be like, oh, why is the market buying all of a sudden? The market will buy up until over here, and then from there we're expecting a huge drop on that. From there we're expecting what? From there we're expecting a huge drop on that. Right, as I told you, the overall direction is bearish, so we're expecting sells. We're expecting more sells than buys. So a buy is typically a correction. A buy is typically, I'll say that you're basically going against the market. If you're taking a buy, you're going against the market. You should understand that. Is that the buy are short term, but the sells are long term, right? The buys are what? The buys are short term, but the sells are long term. Buys are short term, sells are long term, as I told you. So if you end up in this trend, that means the buys are long term, the sells are short term. The buys are long term, the sells are short term. So that's how the market ranges, or that's how the market moves, right? So in the 15-minute time frame, as you can see, lower high, lower high. As I told you, right? Lower high, lower high. The market created a high, and then the market created a lower high. Change of character or change of direction, right? Market created a high, and then created a lower high. That means it's a change of direction. Boom, sell. Another lower high. Boom, sell. Right? We're expecting another lower high, and then from there, boom, sell. Simple, simple, simple. It's simple. I'm telling you. Boom. Sell. Sell. Why are you saying sell at that area? That's why you're asking me. Right? That's why you're asking me. You should probably see, right? Because you had some sort of area over here. There's some sort of an area over here. That's why I'm saying the market will sell from there. If the market doesn't sell, that means the market is buying. If the market buys, that means the market is going to resistance, right? Because I told you, from support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, support to resistance. So if the market buys, that means the market is buying, going back to resistance. And from resistance, we're expecting to go back to support. Or the reason being is that I'm seeing this huge double bottom. If the market fails, that means the market is expecting this double bottom. Right? And then from there, it's a buy. So if the market fails, we're expecting a buy up until over here or over here. The market fails, right? But if the market buys and then from here I sell, that means it's a typical sell, right? So as you can see that the strategy works, it's a buy, and then from here it's a sell, a retest. This is a retest, it's another lower high, another confluence sell. And if you can look back at what I told you or what I analyzed, is that we're expecting a break and then a sell, right? Expecting a break and then a sell. As I showed you before I even went to the 1 hour time frame, I showed you that expecting that a sell, buy, a sell, correction, boom, right? So now I just added a trend line, and you can typically see that it's valid, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's Nas100 secret. That's my main 100 secrets. So I basically analyze like this on a daily basis. So guys, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on the road to we're on the road to 100 subscribers. Yeah, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. We currently reached 100 followers on TikTok, and we're currently sitting on 300 and something followers on Instagram, and my other page is sitting on 50 followers on Instagram. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in into another video. I hope this video is not long, and I hope this video benefits those that are willing to benefit, you know what I mean? But yeah, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Let's get it. But originally we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers anytime soon. So yeah, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get it ish, sir.
Talking flex forever. On the cash, on the rob, on the drip forever. Yeah. Big drip, big splash, big dream.